We spoke with John Ray Reed, and he just talked about how he felt like he was really competing with you and you were really pushing him. How was your relationship developing?
I mean, it's growing stronger every day. It's awesome to have someone, compete with and push each other. I saw the clip that you're talking about, and it just goes to show not only the teammate that he is, but just the person that he is. And he's been a great addition to the O-line room.
What kind of character is he?
He's one of a kind, I'll tell you that. He's an awesome personality to have in the room, really livens up the room, and also adds experience as an older guy.
What have you seen from Micah Banuelos this camp? It seems like he's progressing well.
Yeah, Micah's gotten a lot better. He took a bunch of strides in the spring, and he's really fine-tuned his game. He's cleaned up a lot of his technique that he had been struggling with before, but he's playing really good football right now.
First season on scholarship, does it feel any different?
No, I definitely attack every day, just like I did before. Definitely, for my parents who were, helping me with school, it's definitely different for them. So, I just try to attack every day and just make the most of every day.
Yeah. You're a third generation walk-on. Your
Yes.
dad and your grandfather?
Yes.
Wow. So do they have like a similar mindset too? Like how are they as people?
My grandpa, he passed away last year, he instilled in my dad, and my dad instilled in me. It's just, make the most of any opportunity that you get. In life, you're always, fighting for the better position. And, when you get behind the ball, it's, when you get your back's in the corner, how are you going to react? And, really, how are you going to adjust to, difficult circumstances?
What was that conversation like with your dad or your parents in general when you were like, hey, I'm going to walk on, like, can you foot the bill while I fight for a spot? Like, what was that like?
They were so supportive of me. It was long family conversations, but, ultimately they wanted me to be close to home, being from Orange County, and then, really they know I wanted to play at the highest level I could. I think it's something that I'm eternally grateful for.
What have you seen from Tobias and Justin this camp?
Both of those guys are playing really good football right now. I think Tobias has really evolved not only as a player but as a leader. He's stepped into, kind of that role of being a leader in our O-line room. And I think Justin also, he's got really great feet, and he's just been really working on that. And we're going against the best D-line in the country, and so every day it's getting both parties better.
What's your relationship like with Kalen Miller, another walk-on who, like you, has made a huge impression and is really putting his best foot forward?
Yeah, Kalen's a great player. He, might not be the biggest, and neither am I. So me and him, work on a lot of technique stuff. You kind of have to play the game a little bit differently, and I think he's done a great job of picking that up. He's strong as it gets, and he's got really quick feet. So he's done a really good job of adjusting his game to fit his strengths, which is ultimately what you have to do.
Where has Micah stood out to you maybe throughout?
Let's do one more.
I'd say, with his hand placement, he's gotten really good with his hands. He's got long arms for his height, and he's, learning how to use them. Strong kid, rolls his hips well. So, yeah.
When a guy in the room is competing for a starting job and doesn't necessarily win that starting job, what's your message to those players in that situation?
I think it's, you just have to stay ready. Last year we used probably 6 or 8 different guys just in our room alone, and it's very rare to go through a full season with everyone healthy too. So it's where you start day one isn't where you finish up at the end of the year, and that's a good message for the older guys as well, or the guys who are starting. It's like you have to earn that job every day. That's a great thing about football is you get a chance to prove yourself every week. So.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Kilian.